Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. No change in the dynamic of Eternum last night, as both great houses hold court and retain their respective regions. KOTT News were on the scene live in Windsward, and you can check that out now on KOTT Classic. Afterwards in Weaver's Fen, Dodgers leadership asked to say something special to KOTT News. Congratulations on your victory here in the peat moss bog of Weaver's Fen, once again successfully defending it. Would you care to take us through how it went out there?
Oh, John, it was a delightful experience. I mean, who doesn't love just trampling the enemy team? Also, their bow shots, they were like a soothing massage to my battle-worn body.
Well, was there anybody out there who stood out in their performance in your eyes tonight?
Many of our healers were getting targeted heavily by the enemy team. But despite this, they stayed calm, focused, kept our team alive while under heavy fire. At one point, I saw a healer's own health drop dangerously low, but instead of running away to safety, they stood their ground, used every ability at their disposal to keep the army alive. It was truly a selfless act of heroism, and it allowed us to push forward and secure the victory.
Commander Hibby, one final question. How do you and your fellow associates feel about the once again delayed start of Season 1?
Well, John, I'm absolutely thrilled. I mean, who needs a patch anyways? It's not like we're eagerly awaiting for the content or desperately hoping for bug fixes or anything. I'm sure the developers are just delaying it for fun to keep us on our toes, right? And let's not forget, we all have so much free time on our hands that we can afford to wait a little bit longer for anything we've been anticipating for months. Delaying the patch multiple times is just their way of making it even more exciting. A surprise gift that you know is coming, but you never quite know when. So honestly, I couldn't be happier.
Turning to the weather, and it looks like today the sun will come in from the northwest before slinging out east. This unusual weather pattern will create confusion in the corrupted forces of the island, who will go mad over 40% of the island. 2 more submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPCO. Remember, if it isn't LARPCO, it's cardboard. Tonight, the bottom of B-tier Dodgers attack the Covenant forces of Outcasts for control of the rain-drenched mountain region of Morningdale. Having depleted the resources of the bog, Dodgers launch a raid to seize the well-stocked pantry from the early spring cold harvest of Outcast. But in times of darkness, it is said that Panda Uchiha himself will descend, aiding the faithful in their struggle, fighting alongside them as a divine warrior. Later, the Covenant forces of Knights Templars assault the Syndicate members of JDB's Kitchen for Crown and Kingdom of the Western Monarch's Bluff. KOTT News have been unable to identify if this is the same Templars company that once ruled over Weaver's Fen last July, but any result against JDB would speak for itself. The JDB kitchen staff are well rested after last night's cardboard display by Cringecast, and they're ready to fight, but might also watch Skeeter and the Mermaid if things go light. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. No change in the dynamic of Eternum last night, as the forces of JDB's Kitchen enjoy another movie night on the Western Monarch's Bluff. And the Covenant forces of Outcast outlast the Dodgers in Fort Phase, retaining the hold on their holy land of Morningdale. KOTT News were able to get a word with one of the Outcasts after the fight. Congratulations on your fight out there tonight. I was watching it myself. Great effort out there, man. Digging deep, eye of the tiger moment to make sure you guys held off those Dodger forces. How do you feel it went out there?
I had a really good time. Having had a great amount of competitive wars. That was definitely fun. Against Dodgers, always fun to be honest.
Indeed, it was. Was there anybody who stood out in their performance for you guys tonight?
Obviously, the greatest player of all time, Panda Uchiha. I think he was on BB tonight. He's just better.
Yeah, there's something about that guy. I don't know what it is. He digs deep every time, right?
I don't worry how he does it, but he gets the job done every time.
Well, I have to ask you, as I've been asking everybody else. I know that the season has been delayed yet again. What are your expectations for the season 1 start when it does happen?
I'm expecting a bug-free, no overtuned weapons patch. You know, they delayed it like at least a week now or something. So it better be the best patch of all time.
Well, is there anything you want to say other than anything we've talked about already?
Twitch.tv/Brusty. He was best bruiser in the server, trained by Panducci himself.
No official word from JDB, who were anxiously awaiting the pending adjustments to combat. Looking at the weather for today, and once more it will be filled with sunshine all day long. But look out after sundown when the temperatures will drop and the corruption invasion forces strike at 30% of the island. Another roster submission for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPCO. Remember, if it isn't LARPCO, it's cardboard. Tonight, the Covenant forces of Error.pxp assail the Marauders of Iron Reavers for control of the master fishing port town of Reekwater. Error forces turn their attention to their neighbors to the east. They've had a taste of the crawdads, and they want it all. But will they overcome the Reekwater Union of Fishermen? The Iron Reavers have been feasting on the abundant crab for the last week as they stand by for the beginning of the season to start. But they'll enjoy an evening of combat against a worthy adversary. We'll have any late-breaking outcomes and reactions from the citizen tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night, but not in Reekwater, where the forces of Iron Reavers hold down the master fishing port town for 23 minutes straight. KOTT News caught up with city leaders on the steps of City Hall and got a few words about the fight. Congratulations on your victory here in Reekwater, overcoming the forces of Error.pxp for a full 23 minutes in the fort phase. How would you say it went down out there?
Actually, it went perfect. We literally did the last training because it's been a long time we didn't do a defense war. We did it like half an hour before the war. And I think everyone did a great job with comms and everything, and everyone holds his position. GG, everyone. I think we've proven that we are stronger and better company.
Yeah, I would agree. Through diligent choke management, you were definitely able to hold on and hold off a very strong team. Was there anybody on your team whose efforts really stood out in your eyes tonight?
First of all, everyone did a great job by doing a really good teamwork, but everyone agree the best performers today was Tiffany, the Bob builder. She built every door. She did the amazing job, and I think she is the owner of the city right now.
Tomorrow, there's scheduled to be an announcement that the season will start. Are you looking forward to that? And do you have any expectations of activity tomorrow?
We are positive. We are very ready for the next patch, and I hope everyone will do good, and we'll get ready hopefully within 2-3 days for the next war. And please, push us again. That's my last word.
Turning to our ongoing coverage of the Season 1 delay, while many citizens have reported a seamless beginning to their season, this reporter has experienced an isolated incident and has escalated a feedback on the matter. KOTT News will bring you more on this story as it develops. In other breaking news, while investigating reports of unusual corruption activity in Great Cleve, KOTT News discovered a new threat to the island.
Your aura radiates a strength I've not seen in many, many years.
What you sense is curiosity. JChalant, KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. What's going on out here?
There is a task. A heroic undertaking I must request of you.
I wouldn't call what I do heroic, but if there's something to investigate, I'm your man.
You must help me defeat one of the knights of the Round Table.
As a knight of the turntable who was cast out of Camelot myself, I will speak to this knight of the Round Table, did you say? And see if I can compel them peacefully.
If anyone has the potential, I sense it is you.
KOTT News will bring you more from the Empyrean Forge expedition as our investigation reveals any new information. KOTT News would like to remind our subscribers and those who are about to be that there are drops available by watching Twitch. I'll be getting my hours in today, starting with Black Swan, who you can check out on the card. In lighter news, citizens who participate in factional influence tasks may earn uniformed cloaks for assisting the efforts of various territories. Turning to the weather, and it's going to be a beautiful day of sunshine for all you adventure seekers out there. And it won't even be that bad tonight, with a mere 20% chance of corruption invasion interrupting the start of the season. 3 roster submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPGO. Remember, if it isn't LARPGO, it is cardboard. First up, the Syndicate members of Commit assault the Marauders of Thrust Damage for control of the always uncontrollable Restless Shore. The not-so-newcomers of Commit are resolute in their decision to try out this new composition of teammates against this worthy adversary at this turbulent battleground. Thrust Damage have been undergoing an identity crisis the last few days as they come to terms on their iconography. Their most recent banners are on display at the fort. Let's hope they get to stay there a while. Then, the Marauders of
Emotional Damage
assail the Covenant forces of Error.pxp for control of First Light and the flow of the spice. Emotional Damage coming back for another go at it after learning a thing or two from their last encounter. You don't get to the top of Beijing corn by not trying again. Error.pxp may be mentally exhausted after last night's 23-minute fort fight, or distracted from today's Season 1 start. But if they can check off some boxes and let out some frustration, they'll do both. In the nightcap, the Syndicate members of JDB's Kitchen challenge the undisputed heavyweight champions of Outcasts for their championship title and the right to rule over Everfall. In the purple corner, wearing indigo trunks with red trim, this well-journeyed and well-storied Syndicate powerhouse has finally come to the island's battleground for longevity bragging rights. JDB's Kitchen. In the yellow corner, wearing goldenrod trunks with cream trim, the flock of faithful who can barely believe how lucky they are to have a divine hero fighting alongside them. Your current, reigning heavyweight champions of Eternum, Outcast. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as the forces of Commit make a long-term play for holding the Restless Shore, and the Syndicate members of JDB's Kitchen knock out the champs in the second round, securing the title of Heavyweight Champion of Eternum. KOTT News were on the scene in Everfall and spoke with a representative of the Kitchen staff. Congratulations on defeating the forces of Outcast here in Everfall, becoming the reigning heavyweight champions of Eternum. How does it feel?
It feels like the job's not finished, John. I see a big yellow L on the top right of my map right now, and I'm not happy about it. Morningdale's next, that's what I got to say.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Morningdale next on the chopping blocks for the forces of JDB's Kitchen.
Wherever we see outcasts, we see war. Kylam, I will hunt you down until the day I die, or you die, or we both die.
Well, I know that it's been an anxious night and a lot of things are going on, and I don't want to keep you from the celebration, but was there anybody who stood out in their performance tonight?
Devote. Devote, as always, is the spine, the heart, and the soul of our company.
No comment from Commit on their victory, but the Spice Lords were able to give us a word about their hold in First Light. Congratulations on your victory here in First Light, reigning over the troublesome forces of Emotional Damage, but you hold out yet again. Would you care to take us through how the fight went down?
Yes, always appreciate Emotional Damage coming out. Love the fact that they are giving it an honest attempt. They're bringing out their company. They're amazing people. Love them to death. Fight went very well. We ended up We ended up going to Fort, letting them get to that point. A good practice. A lot of the team did really well fighting the clumps, and to tell you the truth, this was, I believe, the second war since the meta change, and yeah, I can't honestly tell you what the meta is still at this point. But there's fire staffs out there, I can tell you that, John. You're excited, I know it, I can feel it.
You can feel that my palm is quivering while I hold on to my microphone here. Yeah. Looks like you're enjoying the new fire techniques as well. Oh, was there anybody out there who stood out in their performance for you tonight?
Yeah, so we got a new recruit, let me tell you. Zalera, 30 minutes before the war started, recruited, and let me tell you, that man didn't die once and dropped like nearly 30 kills. Let's go.
Oh, wow, that's a fantastic rookie performance, I must say.
Absolutely.
All right, right on. Well, I know the season has started for many of you. Some of us are still at the starting line trying to get some late-minute registration taken care of, but how are you enjoying it so far?
I was able to log in, I was able to swap weapons, I was able to use my weapons, and the war went great. So I would say it's a success so far.
In other news, KOTT spoke with an entrepreneurial spirit seeking to find a place for themselves on the island.
So, I'm thinking we build on your reputation and start a heroes for hire sort of affair.
I keep telling people what I do isn't heroic, it's just the right thing to do. But tell me, you want to start a carrier pigeon operation for the news?
Ah, yeah, we're sailing with the same wind. We'd recruit the island's best talent. Maybe call the operation, Silver Crows. You'd captain the gang with me as first mate. I'd even give you a double share on prizes. What do you say?
I could use an editor, if that's what you mean by being my first mate, so I'll think about it. In patch-related news, some citizens were experiencing unusual starts to their season, as portrayed by this reenactment. Hello, citizen. Word on the street is something's not quite right. Would you care to elaborate on your condition?
John, I logged in. I'm stuck. I've been staring at this rock. Can't move. It AFKs me. I log back in and stare at the rock some more. All my shit's gone. I don't know what to do, John.
Well, word on the street is that the condition has been remedied and that soon you will be granted 50,000 tokens for your troubles.
On 50K is not going to be enough. Tokens? You said tokens?
No, but you'll be able to get...
Not gold?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep, you'll be able to get a couple pieces of cosmetic gear with that.
Oh, no. Not like this.
Looking at the weather, and once more the sun will make its heroic journey across the eternum sky. Then look out after sundown as the humidity causes the corruption invasion forces to creep out across 30% of the island. 2 more lineup submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. First up, the Marauders of Iron Reavers attack the Covenant forces of Coconut Wireless for control of the medicinal hot springs and resort destination of Ebonscale. Riding high after their long hold in Reekwater 2 nights ago, the Iron Reavers make their way to the resort destination to celebrate. But will the current onsen operators allow entry? Coconut Wireless would be happy to welcome them as visitors to the hot springs as guests. But if they're not here for the pina coladas, there's gonna be a golpeada. Later, the syndicate members of Only Friends assault the Marauders of Bottom of B-tier Dodgers for control of the island's primary oil reserves of Weaver's Fin. Only Friends taking the momentum of their expeditious victory in Restless Shore and steamrolling into the Peat Moss Bog, hoping to catch the Marauders off guard. But the Bottom of B-tier Dodgers may not be as distracted by the start of the season pass as everyone thinks. After all, many of the objectives are combat-based, and not all of them are staring at rocks. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. No change in the dynamic of Eternum last night as the forces of Coconut Wireless hold out in the bamboo forest preserves of Ebonscale. And the Bottom of B-tier Dodgers practice diligent choke management for over 20 minutes in the Peat Moss Bog of Weaver's Fin. KOTT News were able to catch up with Dodgers leadership after their fight to talk about the new war strategies. Congratulations on your victory in Weaver Fen. Out front over quickly, but into fort phase and through diligent choke management, able to hold off. Would you care to take us through how it went down out there?
Yeah, John, we just did our thing on Bonfire, held it down, and then choke management.
Speaking of Bonfire, are you seeing a drastic change in the way things are playing out there?
John, honestly, it's not too crazy. A lot of things are the same. A couple things are different. It's really weird seeing fire staffs after a year of them being on the bench and meaningless. But, yeah, it was like 4th of July out there.
Well, after all of that excitement, are you going to take your momentum out into the island and perhaps take out your aggressions on another region?
Yeah, John, I'm going to be looking to push a little something here in the next couple days. Maybe have a weekend war.
Earlier in Ebonscale, Coconut Wireless spoke with KOTT news crews before hitting the hot springs. What's it look like when you sacred ground? Yours looks green to you, right? But everybody else sees different color sacred grounds?
They're like blood red. Everything is red. The ice storms, everything. Everything is just red everywhere, John.
So wait, if it's yours, it's green. If it's theirs, it's red, right?
Yes, but also enemy abilities are red.
Are you finding it difficult to adjust, or is it actually working out all right for you?
I shoot people from a distance, John.
So to you, it doesn't matter. There's no green under your feet.
You just need to see their red bar go down.
While in Ebonscale, KOTT News spoke with a community member who fell victim to yesterday's naked and encumbered issue. Standing with me today is somebody who did, in fact, lose all of their gear when they logged back in after logging out in a death state, as I understand it. Would you care to take us through what happened, man?
Well, so the night before, I was chilling outside Winsburg, and I was PvP plagued for some reason, but I just got jumped, and I died, and I rage quit. I was kind of mad, whatever. And then I get on in the morning, and I log in. I'm so excited to get onto the game. So excited to play the update. I log in, I'm encumbered. I'm like, what the hell is this? I open my inventory, everything gone. My bags, my armor, my life staff, just all gone. All my piss. And I didn't know what to do with myself. It was so...
Okay, so what have they... I understand that they are... The short-term solution is that they are going to be depositing some game tokens, which I don't feel is a sufficient answer. But well, how were you able to resolve it so that you were able to get up and move around and at least put on a different pair of clothes and grab bags and things like that?
It was kind of scary, because I had to drop everything in my inventory on the ground. And I was just running between storages as fast as I could, because you only have 3 minutes. That's not a lot of time, John.
Oh, it's because all your bags were gone. Your encumbrance made it so you couldn't move. So you had to dump everything and run back and forth to Winsward to kind of lock her up some stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Oh, jeez. And then this is your emergency gear that you kind of threw together?
Yeah, I just put some PvE gear.
Ooh, that sucks, man. I am sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm looking forward to the 50k stimmy, though. That'll be nice.
Turning to the weather, and if you wanted a full day of sunshine to go out and explore Eternum, well, you got it. And if you wanted a night full of corruption and invasion forces, well, it's your lucky night across 40% of the island. No submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by patch updates, but we'll have any late-breaking outcomes and reactions and open-world PvP from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. No change in the dynamic of Eternum last night, as you might expect after an evening of peace. KOTT News took advantage of the opportunity to get tracking along the journey to complete Season 1. Quickly to the weather today, and the sun beats down on us as we run around getting these bingo cards filled out. But things should cool off a little bit tonight as a scattering of corruption invasion forces rain down on 30% of the island. Only one submission for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPCO. Remember, if it isn't LARPCO, it's cardboard. Tonight, the Covenant forces of Outcast attack the Marauders of Trust Damage for control of the island's secondary oil reserves of Cutlass Keys. The outcast coven, considering a commune with the corrupted crocodiles in Cutlass Keys, come to conquer the current mosh pit controlling kings. Trust damage, not to be confused with thrust damage, just happen to have the same banner and team roster. But trust them, they're not thrust damage. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News. Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as the Covenant forces of Outcasts convert the citizenry of Cutlass Keys. KOTT News spoke with one of the participants after the fight. Congratulations on your victory here in Cutlass Keys, over in 7 minutes. No pushback from the Marauders as reported by yours truly out on the field. How did you see it going down out there?
Yeah, it was quick and simple. We got in, did the job, and we got out.
Well, are you aware of any additional ambitions to expand beyond this region?
I'm not aware of any, to my knowledge, currently.
Thank you very much. And if there's anything that you guys have coming up that you want me to tell people about, by all means, please let me know. I'd be happy to do it.
Nah, I don't got anything for you, John. We're just out here, we're chilling, playing the game, and having a good time.
Coverage of last night's simulated fantasy combat can now be seen on KOTT Classic. Quickly to the weather again today, and it looks like the sun is cooperating with another beautiful day of seasonal progression. And for those of you seeking general contractor status, be on the lookout for a 20% chance of invasion later on this evening. Another submission for simulated fantasy combat resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPCO. Remember, if it isn't LARPCO, it's cardboard. Tonight, the Marauders of Emotional Damage assail the Syndicate members of Commit for control of the always contentious Restless Shore. The former Great House of Emotional Damage journeyed to the Eastern Shore for the first time, seeking to overcome the difficulty of the climb and overthrow the kings sitting atop it. This will be the first defense of the Mudhill for the forces of Commit. They've already upgraded all armaments and are reasserting their intentions to remain there indefinitely. We'll have any late-breaking outcomes and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.